Okay, in this video we're going to get to those problems in a bit. I had this in the wrong order. Now, I want you to figure this on a calculator, okay? Log 3 times 4. So I'm going to take 3 times 4, put that in parentheses, and that's 12, okay? So I'm going to type in log 4, log 12, close it. So it's approximately 1.08. Okay, now that was log 3 times 4. Now I'm going to split the logs and put a plus symbol. I'm going to take log 3 plus log 4. Just all in remember to close parentheses when you're ready to move on. Okay, parentheses has to be closed. And that's the same thing. So that would lead me to deduce that log of 3 times 4 equals log 3 plus log 4. Now, sometimes the logs have bases. Here they don't. That'd be a base 10. Okay, that's what your calculator does. So that tells me that if I have two separate logs, log base x of a plus log base x of b, that's the same as log base x of a times b. Okay, now let's do another logarithm. This is in condensed form. Okay, 12 divided by 4. Well, 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I'm going to hit log 3. And I got 0.47. If you want to take it to 4/8, that's fine. Now that was dividing. Now if I would subtract the logarithms, I get the same thing. Okay. So that leads me to deduce that if I have two logarithms in subtraction, that's the same as if I take the logarithms and divide them. Okay. Now, what we're doing today is not that hard. It says condense the logarithm. Condense means make it shorter. So you got 5 log base 6 of x plus log base 6 of 12. Okay, they're both log base 6's. Okay, so I write log base 6 down just one time. Then I make a parentheses. Okay, and then after the first log base 6, I have x. Okay, now we'll talk about what to do with that 5 here in a bit. Okay. What that 5 does is come around, that becomes a power on the x. Then I have plus, so when I have plus, that's multiplication. Then after the second log base 6, we have 12. Okay, and that's it. You can't simplify x to the 5th times 12. Okay, next one. Now if the logs don't have bases, which they don't, okay, you put a 10. Okay, it means it's an automatic 10. Okay, so log 10, log 10, log 10. So I write log base 10 just once. It needs to be condensed in just a single logarithm. So I make a parentheses. After the first log base 10, we have 3. Okay. Now that 2, that's a coefficient. That now comes around as an exponent. Okay. Then after the second log base 10, we have 6. Or we have x. We have x. And then that 6 coefficient comes around as an exponent. Then plus again, that's times, and I write y down, and that 5 comes around, that's a 5th. Now you could do a little bit of simplifying. 3 to the second power is 9. So it's log base 10 of 9 times x to the 6 times y to the 5th. Okay. Next one, now we have subtraction. So log base 2, log base 2. So I write log base 2 just one time, and I make a parentheses. After the first log base 2, I have a 6. So I write 6 down. There's no power because there's no coefficient, okay, in front, like there was here. Now subtraction means I'm going to express that as division when I condense the logarithm, because now instead of addition signs between the logarithms, we have subtraction. So I underline the 6 and just put 8. Now you can circle that. You could also divide it 0.75 or 3/4, or you could reduce it. I'm fine if you just leave it. Okay, that whole thing's in parentheses though. Okay, in my next problem, remember these are base 10s. I wrote this like an idiot. This needs to be a bigger y, and then the base is 10. The base is not y, the base is 10. The y should be larger. Okay, so the base is 10. We have x, and that 6 comes around, and that's now a power on the x. Now it's subtraction, so I express that as division. Now I write y, and the 2 comes around, and that's a 2. And really can't do much simplifying there. That's the answer. Okay. Now if you want to pause the video and work on 1 through 4, that's pretty much what you're doing. Okay, 1 through 4. Okay, now we're going the opposite way. We have a condensed logarithm. We're going to put that in parentheses. And now I expand it into multiple logarithms. So this means 5 times x times y to the second. Okay? So you have 3 factors, the 5, the x, and the y to the second. So that means I'm going to do 4 separate log base 4s. So after the first log base 4, you're going to put a 5. And then times means you would put a plus sign. Times goes with plus, minus goes with division. Okay, because it's kind of like exponent rules. Okay, don't write this, but if you are timesing x to the third, you add the powers, x to the 8th. Okay, but if you are dividing, you cancel and subtract. Okay, because logs have to do with exponents. That's kind of how to remember that. Then you got x. Then a plus sign, and then you have y to the second. Now if you have a power, now that comes around and that is a coefficient in front of the log. Okay, try to remember that. And there's your answer. Okay, next one, log. If you don't have a base, it's a 10. Okay, and you have 8 times x to the third. So that's 2 factors. The 8 is one, and then the x to the third power is the other. So I write log base 10 twice. And I put an 8, and it's times, so now that's a plus between the logs, and then x to the third. So then that 3 comes around, and that's a coefficient now. Log base 10 of 8 plus 3, log base 10 of x. Okay, next one. Times, so those are powers right there. So that's 3 factors. Now put what goes behind them, so you're going to have a 3. You're going to have an x to the second, but quickly then turn that exponent around so it becomes a coefficient. That's a plus sign because it's times. Then y to the third comes around, and that's a plus sign. Remember to get pluses and minuses when you're expanding it out like that. Okay. All right, remember the log's base is 10. Okay. Now we have 2 factors, the 4 and the x. Yes, I do count those as factors even in division. So in front of the first log we put 4. In front of the second log we put x, but now it will be a subtraction sign because it's division. Okay. Okay, and we'll be applying those properties in subsequent videos. Pause the video and do 5 through 8.